All right, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Ray here. Welcome back to the video. Hope you guys are all doing great. And today I am finally excited to announce the Infantry Boot Project. So this is gonna be, I guess, the overview video of the project, just showing you guys the project in its entirety, all the samples we went through, and just kind of giving you guys, I guess, the inspo. At the tail end of the video, I'll show you guys a quick unboxing as well as an on foot. So this is no script. I didn't write anything for it. So it's gonna be a lot of talking, so brace yourself. If you got any like drinks or whatever, feel free to grab it because there's gonna be a lot of rambling. You know, during this whole talking segment, I will be showing samples, having everything in hand, and just going through a little information before I show you guys the final project. Hope you guys enjoy. This is a project that I've been working on for the past 2 years with my team. We're incredibly excited to drop it, as you know, this was a learning experience, just kind of like starting from the bootlegs and creating your own project from scratch was honestly a headache, but we're so excited to finally drop it. Quickly talking about the initial project, if you guys are kind of like early adopters to, I guess, this YouTube channel, I was on a hunt for the perfect combat boots. I first started with the Saint Laurents, then I went to like the vintage military, and I ended up with the ground covers, which was my last boot before starting this one. And you know, just the reason why I decided to create my boot was that I was always finding little nitpicks that I didn't like from every boot. So for the Saint Laurent was like just the shape of it, the material was a little bit off. For the military one was just like the height, as well as, you know, just little, you know, details such as hardware and stuff. And for the ground cover, you know, the point of contingency where a lot of people were kind of like iffy about was the pineapple materials. I wanted to create something that can kind of hit all those three spots, yet make it in my own. So for this boot, we, you know, definitely kind of hit all these marks and checked out all the little details that I wanted to fix. So talking about the main inspirations for this boot is that I want to create some sort of hybrid between a combat boot, a hiking boot, and one of the details that I really love about Greedy boots is the back zip. The biggest fan of the shape you know, of Greedy boots. So I wanted to kind of take that detail and add it into what I created. I can go on for hours, but I just want to quickly talk about everything just because we have a lot to go over. So let me first start with the samples. This is kind of like the cringier side of the video, but I'm more than happy to show it to you guys just so you guys can see the progression of everything. So I think for this project, we did about 7 to 8 different samples. In this video, for time's sake, I will be showing you guys the main 4 samples just to kind of show you guys the progression. From the 6th to the 8th, there's like just like little minor differences that don't really need to be shown, but you'll see the progression from number 1 to like number 4. Crazy. Before you guys start grilling this boot, I'm just gonna tell you guys that I started this whole project not knowing anything about boots. I dove into this project without any kind of, you know, boot making experience. I kind of had to learn everything while I went. And this was the very first sample, which was made, I think, in January 2020. Firstly, just the shape is off. The leather itself is kind of weird. And, you know, height is kind of weird. The last thing, which is like the shape of the front, once again, very slanted. I remember one of my homies said that these were the Kohan specials, and I do not blame him. One thing that they nailed, you know, besides everything here, is, you know, obviously the Vibram and this back zip. So it's like very reminiscent to like your classic Guidi, even the shape of the zipper, and it had like the gunmetal finishing. But besides that, I'm just, you know, when I got these in, wasn't really thrilled about it just because all the details that I had asked were kind of overlooked, and they just kind of gave me a default boot that wasn't really something I wanted. Besides the 2 details, I would say the only thing they got right was maybe the green stitching around. But for sample number 1, little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. Let's talk about sample number 2. So for sample number 2, we were kind of getting there, still not quite there yet. In terms of the shape, they kind of fixed it a little bit more. We did change the zipper to like a Riri like M8 zipper. It has more of the brass hardware versus the gunmetal. So one detail that I forgot to mention is that when we initially sketched the project, the eyelet placement was different. So we have the regular here, hiking, and then regular. You'll see the final version is kind of flipped. But just quickly talking about this sample, you know, calfskin leather was very thin. So here was, you know, kind of flimsy. They forgot for some reason the green stitching. So it's like you add some stuff, yet you take out some things. that's the beauty of working with, manufacturers. After seeing this sample, I was a little bit more hopeful. I wasn't like fully content, but I just knew that the vision was kind of getting clearer and clearer. You do have the Orée logo, which was lasered on the side here, but still a lot of issues with it. The type of leather was, calfskin, but it was a very thin cut of leather and just made everything flimsy. Compared to the first version, the shape of the toe was a little bit more improved. The height still was very low to the floor, so it wasn't really that, comfortable or aesthetically pleasing. And yeah, just the overall project itself was not too great. But yeah, this is the beauty of kind of going over each sample. Honestly, this is the biggest improvement compared to, the first two. Right here is sample number 3. As you can see, the Orée logo is lasered, but still not too visible. The leather has improved, but still isn't the best leather that I wanted. And then we decided to switch the placement of the hiking eyelids and, just the regular eyelids, and kept the silver details versus the gunmetal and the rusted hardware. Like the closest to the final version, but still not there. This leather here, you can see it's incredibly shiny, and I wanted something a little bit more matted out. Of leather, comparing this to the previous versions, this one is incredibly shiny, and you guys can see it on camera. It looks almost like patent leather, which I didn't really like too much. The shape on the toe was better. It had this little back hump that I was requesting, and the hardware is all silver, but still not fully satisfied. They did finally add the green stitching, which is cool. The only detail that I can say that all of the samples hit was just the Vibram Montagna outsole, which all of them have. But once again, we were getting really, really close. So when I saw this one was, I think, in May of 2020. So I was very excited to kind of finally get it, get the ball rolling. But yeah, just, still not quite there, but major improvements versus the first two. So this was the final sample before production, and honestly, this one was like, when I saw this, I was like, yes, we're ready to go. So this is sample number 4. This was the version before production. And firstly, just the leather quality has greatly improved. This is a tumbled calfskin Italian leather. The cut, it's a very thick cut of leather, so it's very rigid, and you could see the nice pebbling of the leather, so it's just very good quality. Hardware, finally the hardware was kind of like a brushed silver versus a very shiny one. The big back zip, and overall I was very excited about this. You also do have the Orée stamp on the side, Vibram. Only little issue about this sample was the height. This just felt too low to the ground. I wasn't really happy with the overall height, just because I'm used to wearing like very thick, chunky outsoles, and this one, when I was wearing it, it just felt a little bit too close to the ground for me. So one detail that I wanted to really fix was the height. But overall, this was like, I remember when I got this in hand, like the Thomas Edison light bulb went off, and I was like, okay, this can finally be a real product. This can really be a substantial item for the brand, and I was just over the moon with this sample. I don't know if I should just show you guys the final version or do the unboxing. You know what? Yeah, let's do the unboxing, because those were all the samples, and I want to kind of show you guys the final version. So I hope you guys enjoy this. It's like, what, 13 minutes? Wasn't too long. I hope you guys were able to kind of bear with all the talking and just going over the stuff. Once again, no script, I'm like just rambling. But it's just kind of nice to reminisce and see all the samples, and just, like this is the first time that I've went back through every sample since I created the project. Just the months and years at this point of going back and forth, sourcing the leathers, this and that. Yeah, it's kind of like a little flashback moment for me. So I'm like as excited as you guys to just see everything once again, because I haven't really touched anything since. So I'm still gonna hold the sample just to kind of explain a little bit. But one aspect that I want to talk about was, just I had no clue about the different cuts of leathers, different millimeters, calfskin versus bison versus, horse leather. All these little things had to be learned during this entire process. And for this entire boot, we decided to go with a full grain calfskin leather. I was kind of going about the project comparing it to the high-end boots that I already had in my collection. So if they felt the same or whatever, I was, pretty happy with it. But our rep was kind enough to go through the entire process. We went through so many different type of leathers, different thicknesses, different sort of, details such as, pebbled, smooth leather, all that. Second thing is just, getting this back zip. I thought initially you can just order it and then you're good, but apparently you had to go through YKK. We decided to get the, industrial grade M8 zipper, which is like the bigger joint, and just ordering it through YKK. Apparently this size wasn't something that was existing at the moment, so we had to make a custom order, and it took about 2 months just to get it. So little things like that, kind of just added on to the project. And there was multiple times where I was just like, I don't think this is, I don't think I'm made for this. I wanted to give up at so many moments, also getting the outsoles from Vibram. Once again, being a little ignorant about the whole process, I thought that you can just email them and then, they'll just send you the outsoles. But I had to have one rep contact Vibram directly, and then we had to submit a bunch of information. We had to show them the boot project and all stuff and all things like that just to get approved for the project. So yeah, just overall such a headache, but it's so gratifying once, just everything is put together. Couldn't be happier with this project. So let me start rambling. I'll show you guys how the boots look, the final version, and we'll go from there. All right, so getting to the unboxing portion of the video, I just want to show you guys what you guys will be getting if you decide to order these boots. First and foremost is just the black box. I want to keep it fairly simple, as all the other high-end brands. No funny business on the box whatsoever. We have the Orée New York stamped here in a nice gloss. On the side of the box, you can see all the information such as the model number, the name of the items, also sizing, and the QR code for, internal purposes. Heavy duty, almost like not the regular cardboard box. Has a nice heavy feel to it if you decide to keep it. With the Vibram kind of little card to show you guys that this is an authentic Vibram product. When we got the soles from Vibram directly, they kind enough to give us all of these cards that we can include inside the box. So this is a 16-ounce organic cotton canvas bag, very, very thick. And one detail that, didn't really need to be there, but I had asked to implement it, was to put the Orée New York stencil logo. And instead of screen printing it, I had asked them to use, regular paint and just kind of go over it. You can kind of see that sometimes on, certain bags, the logos will kind of be uneven just to give it that like military vintage look, which I really adore. And I think that they kind of nailed that. And it has a nice texture to it when you touch the stencil work here. I actually wanted to put the same newspaper as the Empires, but it's a little bit of an overkill, and I just wanted to keep this separate from that project and not kind of combine those two. So this is entirely a new project. So, once again, kept it simple, your black, wrapping paper. The box as well as our paper, fully recyclable. There's a little sticker there. And, if you don't want to keep the box, you can fully recycle everything here. So no further ado, this is the Orée Infantry Boot. The one right here I'm holding is a size 6, so it looks kind of small, but this one is my personal pair, which I've been using quite a lot. So I want to show you guys a little bit of a cleaner pair. But in terms of details, the entire upper of the boot is made up of full grain calfskin leather. We made sure that it was incredibly thick, so it kind of held its shape when you had it just, sitting by itself. So we have the brushed metal hardware. You can see really nice, not too shiny. It has like almost that rustic look to it. The back zip remains the same, the industrial grade M8 zipper, which spans all the way here. Detail that you can't really see in the photos, but I'll show it to you guys in the video here. On the tongue, we put the geographical coordinates to the Queen's Unisphere. So type all these numbers that are on the tongue on like Google or whatnot, it would bring you to the Unisphere. Also on the lateral side of each boot, you can see the deep Orée stamp. The laces itself are waxed with the metal tips. There's also the European equivalent of size on the back of the boot. In addition, we did retain the double olive green stitch around the entire boot. And on the entire midsole of the boot, we decided to add a 1.2-inch foam spacer just to give that extra height. Vibram, as always, this is the Vibram Montagna outsole. It's one of the more popular kind of lug outsoles, which is incredibly durable and built to last. Comparing, I just want to show you guys one more time, comparing the height of this versus this, you can definitely see the difference of height. We also fixed the toe of it. This one had more of a slanting toe versus more of the construction boot type of toe, which I'm very satisfied about. Also, in terms of construction, this boot features the Norwegian, or also known Storm Welt, which kind of folds the material on the inside to make sure it's waterproof. You can honestly dunk your whole foot in the water without any issues. Me coming from a sneaker background, and the first time I was wearing like high-end stuff, it just felt really uncomfortable. So for this boot, we decided to, keep the leather footbed, but we, made some sort of like Dr. Schultz, just like very comfortable on the inside. So these feel great compared to, your high-end boots, which just have like a flat footbed. This is, I'm not gonna say it's massaging your feet, but it definitely feels much better than any other boot that you have. And a little call back to the green. I was like, yo, can you guys put a little green on the bottom? So here we go. Also, in terms of where it's made, this boot is made in Italy and Korea. Kind of quickly going through the process. So the entire upper of the boot is made in Italy, and then the final touches, such as adding the hardware, zippers, and outsole, is made in Korea and then shipped over to us in New York. So it's a whole process. It goes to 2 different countries. It is such a headache kind of, keeping tabs on everything. But at the end of the day, I'm very excited about this boot, and just the overall product is top notch. Also, in terms of sizing, a lot of people have been inquiring about that. I would say they fit half a size big, so definitely go half size down. Quick example for me, I am a size 10. I went with the size 10, and that fits between a 10 and 10 and a half. So quick example, if you're a size 9 and a half, I would say you pick the size 9, which fits 9 and 9 and a half. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, definitely make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so whenever I drop a brand new video, you'll be updated. Damn, I am tired. I feel like I've just been rambling. Anyways, I'm exhausted. Very happy that I was able to show you guys the boots, the overview, how it looks, kind of explain the entire process. Once again, drop will be this Saturday, September 27th at 11 a.m. EST. I really hope you guys enjoy this product. This is by far my favorite project that I've worked on, from creating clothes, all that. So this by far has been one of the most complicated yet, gratifying experiences of my life. Very excited for you guys to get your hands on it. Once again, this is the size 10, my size. Looks like this after maybe a month or 2 of wear, of like continuous wear. I was wearing this pretty much every day. So this is how it should look in theory after 2 months. Thank you guys for your time watching the video, for your interest, all the beautiful comments and the, the feedback that I've been getting. Every time I post these boots have been nothing but amazing. So I thank you guys for that. So for me, kind of growing up, making boots or anything in that sorts is, kind of like beyond. You don't really think as a kid, you can make something like this. This was one big learning experience, but I'm so happy I went through all of that to finally provide you guys this boot. Anyways, I'm out of here before I start crying. This is crazy. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. This is amazing. You guys are amazing. Love. Infantry Boot. Orée. We out. Hold up, nah, son. Gotta edit this video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.